everyone, welcome back to another perfume video. I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to be talking about my favourite fragrances for the springtime, but before we jump in, if you're new to my channel then welcome. Please feel free to check out my many other perfume videos that I have on my channel, and I would absolutely love it if you would click the subscribe button below so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. So first up today is the gorgeous Sea Fiori from Armani. Now this fragrance is just really beautiful. It's extremely feminine, sweet, floral and fruity. So this has a very prominent note of blackcurrant in here. I also smell the vanilla, but there's also some florals in here as well, like rose. There's a powderiness to this fragrance and it's very creamy as well. So overall, this is just an absolutely stunning fragrance. There's also something kind of romantic about this. This one just makes me think of someone very girly with like a kind of really flowy kind of dress, skipping through a meadow or something like that. It's really beautiful, really sweet as well. I think any sweeter and it would have been too sweet for me, but actually I do quite like this. I think lately I've been veering slightly away from like the super sweet kind of fragrances. I've been more interested in more natural smelling kind of florals, if you know what I mean, so more sort of naturally sweet smells rather than obviously sweet smells. This one is kind of on the brink of too sweet, but it's not too sweet, but if it was any sweeter it would have been, if you know what I mean. But I do love it nonetheless. It's a beautiful sweet vanillic fruity rose powdery creamy kind of fragrance, and I think it is just perfectly evocative of the springtime. It's very feminine and beautiful. Next up today we have Mugler Aura Eau Sensuelle. Now this fragrance is really beautiful. It's quite unusual as well, so just in the same way that the original Mugler Aura is extremely unusual, this one is also fairly unique. This fragrance just reminds me of some sort of green tea being made into a marshmallow, so it's definitely very kind of puffy. It's got that marshmallowy kind of feeling about it, but there's definitely that same green nuance to it that the original Aura has. So this fragrance is very green, but it's almost as if you had a marshmallow that was flavoured with like matcha tea or something like that. So it's truly beautiful. I really like this one. It's quite refreshing as well, especially upon the first application. It's a refreshing green breezy kind of smell, pillowy soft, quite sweet and quite easy to wear. I would say if you found the original Aura a little bit too much, a bit too in your face, then this one is definitely a more toned down, softer version. So from that point of view, I think this one is a safer blind buy. I think this one is more likeable as well. So if you're wanting a more likeable version of Aura, I would definitely check this one out. This one still has relatively good lasting power, but it is overall a softer scent. So it's more of what I would call like a skin scent, more so than Aura. So the original Aura is definitely more out there. It has more of a projecting power. This one still lasts. It's just softer overall and it's really beautiful. Everything about this scent kind of reminds me of springtime. The colours in particular are just these sort of beautiful pastel springtime kind of colours. It's such an easy reach, just perfect for a casual springtime day, going out for a walk, going out for lunch, just or going to the shops, just anything. It's quite a nice easy reach kind of fragrance and perfect for the springtime. So that's Mugler Aura Eau Sensuelle. Next up today is Rihanna Nude. So this fragrance was in a declutter video, I believe, but I've since decided to keep it because it's actually really nice. Now that I've kind of brought my collection down to a more manageable size, I've had more time to really appreciate the ones that I have. This is a fragrance which I didn't really appreciate before because it just got lost in amongst the sea of fragrances which I had before I had my declutter videos, but now that I've gotten rid of quite a lot, I've been able to really appreciate this one. So this scent, it's a really beautiful, soft, creamy, floral apricot cream kind of smell. This one has that same pillowy, soft, almost marshmallowy feeling that Mugler Aura Eau Sensuelle has. It has that same kind of creamy softness about it. It's definitely what I would consider to be quite a soft scent. It's not loud or anything like that. It's certainly nothing like the original Rihanna Rebel Fleur, which I used to own, but that one found a new home because it just wasn't quite for me. I much prefer this one. This one is really beautiful. It's quite versatile, good for every day, quite a nice casual, easy reach kind of fragrance. I find that this one also, it's quite sweet and creamy, but there's also something slightly clean about this one as well, which makes it a really beautiful fragrance to reach for just out of the shower. And I think the kind of light, airy, clean nature of the scent kind of makes it perfect for springtime. It does have that kind of feeling about it. It's quite feminine, I would say, quite girly in my opinion, and it's a really good perfume. It lasts a really long time as well. It's a soft scent, so it doesn't really project that much, but it does definitely last quite a long time. I have noticed that about this one, and it's really very good. So I would recommend this one if you like sweet, creamy, apricot cream kind of scents. It's a really nice fragrance and perfect for springtime. So that's Rihanna Nude. Next up today is a fragrance which I would consider to be a really girly, bubbly, feminine kind of scent, and it's really beautiful, you guys, and that fragrance is La Nuit Trésor Eau de Toilette, not to be confused with the Eau de Parfum version, which is extremely different to this one in my opinion. So this scent here, if you have tried the Eau de Parfum, this one is basically if you took all of those fruity, floral kind of top notes and made a scent just out of the top notes of the original La Nuit Trésor. This is the fragrance with all of those smoky, deep, heavy bass notes removed. This has a completely different feeling to the original La Nuit Trésor. The original La Nuit Trésor, I would say, is more grown up, it's more seductive, date night, night out kind of fragrance. This one here is the bubbly, daytime, girly kind of version, I would say. So this has a really prominent note of berries, so there's raspberry in here, blackberry I believe, maybe even some strawberry. It's just kind of like if you imagine a bowl of sweet berries in general, paired with some sweet rose and peony, with some vanilla, so it's overall quite sweet. Some might find this too sweet. I don't find it too sweet because it's very well done and there's a nice mix of different notes in here. This is quite like a light-hearted, flirty kind of scent as well, I would say. Maybe for a daytime date, going out for coffee or just a few drinks like during the day, this is the perfect scent for that kind of situation. So you might have like a really girly dress on, minimal daytime kind of makeup on, just kind of a casual, easygoing, flirty daytime date fragrance. So it's really beautiful if you enjoy fruity scents, if you enjoy that kind of blackberry, raspberry with rose kind of combination. I do think that this one is really going to be worth a try for you. And even though this fragrance is an eau de toilette concentration, it does have a very good lasting power and projection actually. So this is quite a strong fragrance even though it's an eau de toilette. Definitely what I would consider to be a very toned down version of the original one, and as I say, a very much easygoing daytime version. It's truly beautiful and it reminds me of springtime. So next up today are these three Chloe fragrances. Now, initially I was, oh, almost dropped one there. Initially I was only going to mention Love Story. I wanted to pick one, but then I thought about it and they all remind me of springtime. I mean, these are all perfect springtime fragrances, so I'll briefly just go through each one, seeing as I'm going to be mentioning all three. So first of all, Love Story. This fragrance is beautiful. I really, really like this one. So this is quite fresh upon the first application. It's like a fresh, floral, bright, uplifting kind of scent. I actually love this one, you guys. I really, really do. It's so feminine. It's so, it's just beautiful. I think I'm really starting to get into my floral scents these days. I never really used to be that into floral scents, but something about them has been really capturing my imagination lately, and this is one of them. This is a truly beautiful scent. I kind of wish I'd got the 50ml. I was a little bit dubious about it for some reason, I don't know why, but I ended up going for the 30ml. It was a blind buy, and I don't know, I didn't want to take that much of a risk, so I did get the 30ml. Like looking back now, I think I would have got the 50ml, but oh well, who cares, it doesn't matter. That's the bottle, it's so beautiful. It goes slightly powdery as well, so it's like a powdery, clean, sweet floral fragrance, very carefree, very light and airy, but it's I would say it's got a richness to it as well. I just absolutely love this one. I think if you are a fan of slightly powdery floral scents and jasmine and things like that, I think you would love this, and I do think it's quite a safe blind buy. That's just my own personal opinion. There is also the Love Story Sensuelle, the flanker to this fragrance. I'm really tempted by that one as well, so please let me know in the comments if you've tried it. It's like this, but it's the pink bottle. It's a slightly different version. I read up on it and it said that it's a bit sweeter. I think that one also has some orange blossom in it. It mentioned in the description that the orange blossom was amped up in the Sensuelle version of this one, and it's a bit sweeter as well, I think. So please let me know in the comments if you've tried that one. Let me know if you think I'd like it. So these two here, we have Chloe Low and we have Rose de Chloe. Now these are both eau de toilettes. The lasting power is not that great on them, but I don't mind at all for some reason. I just love these as a kind of easy grab and go, easy reach, like a scent to kind of freshen up. These are really fresh, clean, beautiful feminine fragrances. I think just fresh out the shower, just around the house, just whatever, or even to layer over top of fragrance, these are excellent. I've been absolutely loving these. If you saw my previous video about my clean and feminine scents, I mentioned these as well. I'm kind of obsessed. I think they're just so sophisticated, light, airy, carefree, just effortless elegance. I think that they are a true embodiment of springtime as well, and I think going into the summer I will absolutely love reaching for these because they're just not heavy, they're like light, not overpowering at all, just kind of subtly there and absolutely divine. So that's Rose de Chloe and Chloe Low. Next up today was a fragrance which I tried to declutter, but I've kind of been left with it and I'm not too bothered about that actually. I've been kind of enjoying this fragrance as a room spray, so I've not been wearing it on myself because there's a lemon note in here. Oh, I forgot to mention which one it is. Oops. It's Jessica Simpson Vintage Bloom, by the way. I forgot to mention the name. So anyway, I was gonna declutter this one, but I couldn't get rid of it basically. But I'm not, as I say, I wasn't too bothered because the bottle is beautiful. It didn't cost me a lot either, it was like £12, so you know, I'm not fussed. But I have found a really perfect purpose for this as a room spray. It's so fresh and clean, and I mentioned in a previous video that it kind of almost reminds me a little bit of washing up liquid, which obviously, in my opinion, like as a perfume, it's not that nice to have that kind of like smell about it, but as a room spray it works really, really well. I sprayed this around my room, like went away and then came back, and it just left this beautiful, fresh and clean, crisp kind of smell in the air. So I think I'm definitely going to be using this as a room spray, and it does definitely remind me a lot of springtime. It's got that like bright, cheerful, like springtime vibe about it. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a great one just to spray around the house or to spray on your like bed sheets or just anywhere really. I think it's really good for that actually, so I would recommend this fragrance for that point of view, just as like a room spray, that kind of thing. But as a fragrance to wear on myself, I wasn't like hugely impressed at all, I'm afraid, but I'm glad that I'm now being able to use it for something, if you know what I mean. So that's Jessica Simpson Vintage Bloom. Next up today we have Viktor & Rolf Flower Bomb. Now this fragrance is a classic. I really like this one. Very, very sweet sugared flower petals is what this reminds me of. It's also slightly milky, very, very sweet, I would say. This one to me is perfect for spring because it's very floral, it's very sweet, feminine and all of those things. It's quite heavy, it's quite strong, I would say. So because in springtime it's like not too warm, the weather is still slightly cooler, especially here in Scotland. It's like definitely still quite cold. So I think a fragrance like this that's quite strong and it has that staying power and the projecting power and everything, I think this is great for springtime. Not so much in summer, I wouldn't say. I would find this probably a bit too much in summer and it would get a little bit cloying. However, at the moment in springtime, I think this is a fantastic choice. This fragrance definitely screams spring to me because you know, summer, autumn and winter, I wouldn't really be that drawn to this fragrance. I think springtime is where this one really shines and it's just really lovely. Very sweet, quite heavy on the patchouli, quite a rich, thick, floral, sweet, sugary kind of smell, and it's really quite nice. So that is Viktor and Rolf Flower Bomb. Next up today is Alien Eau de Toilette. Now this is a perfect everyday, easy grab and go kind of fragrance. It's definitely easier to wear than the Eau de Parfum version of Alien, I would say. I think the bright and airy nature that this fragrance has, it's definitely brighter and more citrusy than the Eau de Parfum, and I think that lends itself very much to spring, maybe even summer. I think this would be a fantastic fragrance to wear in the summer as well. But this is just a very, very womanly, very flirty, beautiful kind of fragrance. It's still got that alien attitude. It's still got that alien DNA about it. You do definitely get that alien dose in this fragrance, but it's just more citrusy, more lighthearted, not as like serious, not as kind of seductive, and not as much of like a nighttime kind of vibe. This could be day or nighttime. This is very, very versatile. Jasmine is kind of the only thing that I really smell in this, and it's sort of enhanced by the citruses. I wouldn't say that I directly smell citrus, but the citruses give it more of like a brightness to it. It's a really beautiful fragrance. I think if you already like Alien, or if you really, really love jasmine, you should definitely check this one out. This is a fantastic fragrance. Very, very good lasting power as well. It performs very much like an Eau de Parfum and perfect for springtime. So that's Alien Eau de Toilette. Next up today we have Maison Margiela's replica fragrance, Springtime in a Park. Now I think this is just the absolute epitome of spring in a bottle. It's sweet, it's airy, very realistic florals, almost slightly green but not overly so. It has a distinct smell of fresh air mingling in with the natural smell of blooming like flowers, trees, nature around you. It's very realistic, and it definitely captures the feeling of when you're actually in a park in the springtime. I think if you're a fan of seriously floral scents, like an overdose of florals and things like that, I think you would love this. It's very, very girly, very kind of carefree, everyday, flirty kind of fragrance. Very clean again, actually. This has that clean linen, like crisp, fresh linen kind of vibe about it as well, which is really nice. And yeah, this is just spring in a bottle in my opinion. So that is Maison Margiela's Springtime in a Park. Next up today is a current obsession of mine, and that's Gucci Bloom. This is a really lovely, classy, sophisticated, soapy, white floral kind of smell. So mainly I get a kind of fresh green kind of tuberose smell. It's quite powdery, there's some jasmine in here as well and Rangoon creeper, but to me this is mainly like a kind of a green tuberose, powdery, soapy kind of scent. It's really beautiful. It has a slight arrogance about it in my opinion. It's definitely got a very put together, elegant vibe. Definitely quite powdery. This fragrance is very clean, soapy, feminine, and absolutely stunning for the springtime. Next we have Valentino Poudre. Now this fragrance again has some tuberose in there. It's very powdery, kind of marshmallowy. Vanilla, iris and tuberose, those are the main things that I can really detect, and a dry, powdery kind of texture to it. This one has that kind of pampered feeling, clean, feminine, plush, soft and powdery. It's just beautiful. Clean, fresh, baby powder, powdery, cosmetic kind of vibe about this one. Oh, it's really, really nice. I love this one. I think you could just reach for this for any occasion. It's just a stunning all-round kind of fragrance. Great for any occasion, any time of year really. But I think it is a really pretty choice for the springtime, so that's Valentino Poudre. And last up today, but by no means least, is the stunning Delina Exclusive. So this fragrance is great for all year, I would say, because it's definitely quite rich, so I could easily wear this in autumn and winter as well. But the reason I'm featuring it in this list is because one time I got a compliment on this fragrance, and the way that the lady described it was very fresh. So she described this fragrance as smelling very fresh to her, which kind of surprised me at the time because I always thought that it was quite a deep, powdery, sweet, woody, rose vanillic kind of fragrance, but she described it as smelling quite fresh. And I can see why she said that. There is a freshness to this fragrance. I think because this has so many different facets to it. It's fresh, it's fruity, it's floral, it's vanillic and woody all at the same time almost. And actually, what this fragrance really reminds me of is a springtime wedding. That's what this scent really reminds me of. It's very, very dressy. It's very, very luxe, beautiful, classy, luxurious basically, and it does kind of remind me of springtime. I think this would be the ultimate like springtime wedding scent. Certainly if I was ever to get married like in the springtime, I think this is probably a scent I would choose most likely, just because it's a standout fragrance really. It's everything. Like this is, you couldn't actually get a better scent, I don't think. Like this is just perfection in my opinion. I absolutely love this one. I don't reach for it an awful lot, and that's purely just because it's very, very dressy to me. This is truly a special occasion fragrance. This is the fragrance that I reserve for those rare kind of special occasions, the occasions that you really want to kind of treasure, if you know what I mean. This is the kind of fragrance that I would reserve for those situations, and it's really just dawned on me now, but yes, this really reminds me of like a springtime wedding. I think this would just be the ultimate scent for that occasion, to be honest with you. So that's Parfum de Marly Delina Exclusive. So there we have it, my springtime scents. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what your favourite fragrances for the springtime are. I do love reading through all of your comments. I read every single comment, so please leave one down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.